talk about. What about a problem? I mean, everybody's got problems, you know. I love problems. Men love problems. We do. It keeps us real busy. Yeah. How to plug in. Ah. How to plug in. How to plug into, you could say, to the winds that were backing you up for the first 33 years of your life. I think that's where your question is coming from. Because those winds, very, 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 very potent winds. It's funny, it's like it's a free ride. All you do is get in your sailboat and somehow you don't know where the wind comes from, but it's... And then the winds, they start to die down, you know, and more and more and more and more, and the skin's starting to sag, and hair's starting to gray, and memory's not working so well, enthusiasm is not so good, you know, begin to feel more vulnerable when you get sick, and pretty soon there's no, and you want to, you know, plug in, to activate those winds again. In reality, those winds are gone. That's it. It's a one-time shot. That's it. You cannot reactivate those winds. No matter what you do, no matter how enlightened you become, no matter how wonderful you become, no matter if you're at the 10,462th stage of Buddhahood, the winds are gone. They're gone. That's it. That's it. What's the other wind? It's a different kind. It's a different kind. You could say it's an internal wind. It's an internal silence inside. It's an internal winds of awakening inside. And to plug in is to come to terms with this phenomenon. It's a phenomenon that all human beings go through. And really, you know, and for most people, it's when the winds start to slow down or when they have stopped is when people then really go out and really start to seek. Have you ever noticed when one is under the age of 33, their seeking is very different than the ones whose ages are 36, 37 and above? Very different, extremely different. And it's really because of the lack of the winds that gives the purpose differently. And so those below the age of 33 can never know what it is like for those whose winds have stopped. Never, until they get into that stage and they're in it for a number of years. Then they can relate. A child can never know what it is to feel and sense and to speak through the eyes of a grandma or a grandpa. You got to wait all those years before you can do it, and then. And to plug in is to come to terms with this. You know, there are lots of wonderful old movies, and where someone is, the ship goes down, and one is, you know, they get on a lifeboat, and you know, and they have, they put up a sail, and how wonderful it is for the winds to come, and then all of a sudden the sea is just dead silent for weeks. And all of a sudden, like the hope goes, You can just see that because you're not going anywhere. You can't roll fast enough. And the heat and, you just sink down. And how the coolness of the winds, when they come, they bring rain and all this. But, but it's just that people pay attention. They pay attention only to when the storm comes. There's some value. The value is as important when the winds are no longer there. There has to be value. You got to ask yourself. There's a very good reason why we have nighttime and daytime. There's a very good reason why when the air is still and when it's moving fast. There's a very good reason why we have laughter and we're quiet. There's a very good reason why we have hunger and when we're full. The paradox of plus and minus, the paradox of up and down, the paradox of right and wrong. And there's really something in this. And to plug in, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. All the little reflections to help you to increase, understand your questions and your answers. It's just that most people have been taught to think in a linear fashion. Most people, they contemplate in a linear fashion. And there's no other way for them. In the old schools, to break the student from the linear thinking, the teacher says, go to the graveyard and watch, meditate. Go to the graveyard and meditate. The student comes back. He didn't get it, go back. And the student is out there and, just watching. Here comes another body, comes another body, comes another body, watch him get buried, earth goes over and here comes another one, earth goes over and, and here comes another one and bury it, and here comes another one and bury it. Yeah, it's okay, so what? I've seen death, It happens, it's a reality, Goes back to the teacher. Teacher's, is listening and listening. No, go back, you didn't get it. It is because, in essence, we're so, you could say, earthbound, and not just gravity constantly keeping us in a linear fashion, keeping us down, but it is also the light of the sun. The light of the sun there's a cause behind it, why the sun exists. And all the light this light emanates from the sun is cause and effect. Because there's a cause behind the nature of the sun to have its existence. And so the light is cause and effect. It hits something, it bounces off, reflects off. And so we're constantly, let's say, I see my daylight through cause and effect, totally. Not because of what I was taught. Cause, effect. But the light is also supporting it. Cause, effect. And then when you really think about it, the sun producing, manufacturing, cause and effect. And this cause and effect bouncing off twigs, leaves, foreheads, noses, shoulders, paper, cars, many colors. There's cause and effect all day long. Light turns red, you stop the effect. Light turns green, cause, effect. You press down on the gas pedal, cause, effect. You say hello, there's going to be an effect. There's a cause. You lift up your left foot, there's a cause, there's effect. You think, therefore I am. There's cause, there's effect. Behind one thought, behind one action, everything, cause, effect, all day long. Very little space. Very, very little space. Because the light is constantly making you look over here. You can see this, you can see that, you can see this, you can see that, you can see this, you can see that, you can see this, you can see that. Pretty soon you get so used to it, you don't even see Berlin anymore. But only the tourists who have never seen Berlin, they see Berlin for what it is. For cause and effect, even we start to become numb, comfortably numb in our own environment because we've gotten used to it. Complacency has set in. And yet still cause and effect is working 24 hours a day because we have street lights at night. We have light bulbs that can turn on and light our day constantly to keep the cause and effect in perpetual motion. Cause and effect. But to plug in, you have to be smarter than your technology. To plug in, you got to be a lot smarter than what the books and what any teacher has taught you. To plug in, you got to be a lot smarter than your philosophies. To plug in, you got to be much smarter than your own intelligence can offer you. For when the student of life finally comes back to the teacher and says, "Teacher, I understand. I cannot know what death is until I die. I cannot know what is on the other side until I get there." But it is not Buddhist. It's not French, for sure. It's not German. It's not American Indian. It is not Russian. It's not Chinese. And it's not Gypsies. It does not speak English. It does not speak Deutsch. It does not speak French. It does not speak Spanish. I cannot know what it speaks. So therefore, teacher, thank you for sending me out into the graveyard. For now I understand I do not understand. And this is what I surrender. My logic can only go so far. It has a ceiling. It has a certain peak. It has a certain height. And that's all. Thank you, teacher, for sending me back over and over, thousands and thousands of times. I've gone through 3 pairs of shoes, walking back and forth. I have seen my arrogance and my ignorance. I have seen my pride. I've used my intelligence. I've used my imagination. I've used my hope through a veil. All useless. Because I was fooling myself the whole time. Thank you, teacher, for sending me back. Know your wishes, but know that's all they are. And don't paint the heavens and don't paint the hells with your wishes. Know your imagination well, but don't paint the heavens and don't paint the hells with it. But about 95% 98%, 99% of the population does. Know your hope well and know that's all it is, but don't get your brushes and all your colors, and whether it be watercolor or acrylic or a very simple pencil, don't paint the heavens and don't paint the hells with it, but that's all it is your hope. For to plug in is simply to be honest with what you can see. Or to plug in is very simply to be honest of what you don't not see. And don't pretend. And then the superstitions that so many people have in their heads, in time will slowly turn into smoke, only to be absorbed by the upper atmospheres, no longer plagued by ghost or fear that does not exist. But it will give you that sense of what it is to really be alone. You could say for the laws of the cosmos. Two planets, they cannot stand, they cannot kiss, earth to earth. They have to hold their distance. They have to really be alone in the vastness of separateness, of spaciousness. As it is for any child putting on their own shoes. So in essence, the early lessons is learning basically just to be what most societies really try to teach themselves and their students and their children. Honesty with what's in front of you, and don't pretend that there are two more marks that are not there. If you're not nice, you're not nice. If you're rude, you're rude, and don't pretend you're not. If you're kind, you're kind, and don't pretend you're not. If you're clear, you're clear, and don't pretend you're not. If your mind is ill, know it, and don't pretend it's not. If you're scared, know it, and don't pretend it's not. If you're hungry, know it, and don't pretend it's not. If you're in love, know it, and don't pretend you're not. If you're lost, know it, and don't pretend you're not. If you're desperate, know it, and don't pretend you're not. If you're gentle, know it, and don't pretend you're not. If you're violent, know it, and don't pretend you're not. Know who you are as a human being from morning till night. And if you find yourself, your pictures, your feelings, your thoughts, your behavior, your attitude, racing up a mountain and coming down a mountain, sometimes falling, sometimes skiing, sometimes tumbling, and sometimes laughing. For the courage that it takes to plug in, to give yourself plenty of time, plenty and plenty of time. And learn to be a good witness of your life. To be a good witness of the skier, the tumbler, the failure, the success, the one who hurts and the one who laughs. And for the witness to mature, the body remembers very well how long and how many days, how many birthday candles it took you to reach the age of 7. 7 long years. And as it is for that mind and as it is for that heart of yours, it takes a long time for it to reach a certain age that the witness wakes up from its dream and looks down and sees all that it has built and destroyed, all that it's hated and loved. The sand castles, the sand bridges, just a sandbox. And as a human being, when it comes to time to pass away, you walk away from the sandbox. But the courage before you are forced to walk away, to have the courage to mature and to walk away from the sandbox. You get pulled from your mind into your heart, from your heart into your mind. Cities are no longer cities. And all the faces that you've seen are no longer the same faces. The stories have changed. Even the time has changed. The earth is no longer the same. The dreams are no longer the same. Even all the words are no longer the same. And during these early stages, learning to know, learning to come to terms with what you see and what you know and what you don't know and what you see. It is working literally with the pluses and minuses, like working with the North Pole and the South Pole. It's working with the darkness and the light. It's working with the words right and wrong. In one hand and in the other hand. And then using a very wonderful, wonderful word that is really a crutch, a wheelchair. It's like a blessing, a word that they call hope. Even though you don't know it, even though you can't see it. Because you will not paint it with your imagination. You will not even paint it with your hope, but you hope that behind all this, that there's an intelligence that knows what it's doing. And it's good. And then hope becomes a very helpful word. And knowing, because you have been working what you know, and what you don't know, you don't know. That you may never know. And you may pass away without ever knowing. But you have it in your heart and you have it in your mind that you hope at one moment in existence that you will know. No time, no watches, no clocks. No sunsets, no sunrises, no tick-tocks. Is going to determine when. No birthday candles. No counting is going to determine when. Because you don't know. But you have breath to continue. Enough carbohydrates to keep you going. You have some youth to continue. You still have your passion if it's there. You still have another day, but don't know when. For some, they will never plug in. And maybe even after they pass away, they may still never plug in. But in some time and in some space, miracles happen, things happen, you never know. Do the best you can. That's what matters. It is that honesty that one is manufacturing inside because of that honesty. No painting. It's that honesty that slowly creates the medicine inside. Not just to help to change the various proteins, but to help, let's say, it can turn one's heart into a radar, into an antenna, and one's prayers, one's hopes, that the signal goes out further and further out, that it reaches someone that can come and help you in your quest. Look at it this way. No matter where you came from before you were conceived, you came from somewhere and in some time, you came from some direction. And wherever you came from, the earth, the planet, the universe is, who knows? No one knows how. 15 billion, 20 billion, 25 billion, and that can change right and left. But wherever you came from, you've had friends, you made friends. You've had lovers. And they can come. But they have to hear you. The prayer of a child, because there's no ulterior motives, usually, the prayer takes off like a beam of light, traveling light years very quickly. The prayer of an adult takes off like alpha flashlight. Whose batteries are very low, very low. And the light, you could say, for the most part, there's suffering in it and twistedness and ulterior motives. And light is information. And it's how you receive that light. And how the light comes to you. And how it is read. So if you pray and there's motives, don't pray. But if you pray and feel very much like a child, the innocence, you pray. That's my power animal up there. I wish it was an eagle. Or a bear, but that, But that's the way it is. It's funny, in America, and especially in New Mexico, when the Indians started to release some of their knowledge, and then the white people took it up and started to have workshops and give workshops and teaching people how to find your power animal, And then you start to do figures, started to really do some figures here. And you said, oh, well, okay, wait a minute, and these workshops, man, they were taken off very quickly, all over America. And there's something like maybe close to 300 million people in America. And there's quite a few million already having their power animals, and there aren't that many bears. You start to do your numbers and your figures, wait a minute here, And then especially when channeling came along, and then people were channeling, and my God, there were so many St. Francis, and almost everybody was a shaman, and almost everybody was a lama in their past, millions and millions, it doesn't match with the figures, Yeah. A lot of perplexing things in this world, It makes me a little confused, The things with the channeling, and the spirits, that's nothing really. It's really, really nothing. All you do is go a little insane, you can channel anything. But you know what is really something? Huh? For a spirit to channel a human, that would be a trick. That. No, it wouldn't be too nice, Thanks, but no thanks. Can you imagine a spirit, channeling you, And there you are up there, My name is Rico. My name is Bettina. Well, Great Spirit, where have you come from? I have no idea. Are there any men up here? Oh, God. Do I have to work? You know, look at it this way. And it's dealing with numbers, people. You know, numbers and the beauty of math and the beauty of the numbers, it is so, so beautiful. I'm not good with math or anything, but I've looked at it a lot. It's so, so beautiful. It's a beautiful art. It's a beautiful, beautiful art. And it's beyond my comprehension, these numbers thing, you know, but to some degree, I can follow it, just a little bit. But if you pay attention to how important our birthdays are, you know, or somebody else's, you know, birthday, it's a beautiful thing, you know, and the occasion and the celebration of it, it says a lot, you know, it's important, you know. And sometimes, no doubt, some years are not so important, and the birthdays, you can let it go. But when it comes to like a cake, you know, the average age of men, I forgot what it is in the Western world, maybe 77, something like that. And women, it's in their 80s. And in some countries, it's 45 in this world today. 45 years of age is the average age for men, you know. So we have a few more decades. But it becomes very important, our health and what we do with the day, and that brings it down to numbers, you know. How many full moons and how many days and how many birthday candles, you know, becomes important, huh? Important for us because it's so personal. And every second counts too. Every minute counts too. Really. And when you really think about it, I mean, this is how ridiculous all that stuff is. It's so ludicrous. It is so ridiculous. Because there is no respect for creation for what it is. Imagine a little baby, you know, just coming out. Channel for me. Channel for me. Channel grandma. A little child or a 2-year-old, channel for me. But we will do that to an adult. Why? Because we know there's a lot of dead space. They're bored with their life. Would you take a second out of a child's life? 1 second. To take 1 second out of that young one's life. When there's nothing but life in those eyes, in those movements, in those little hands. To take every moment is precious. Every moment to look with those young ones' eyes. But how so many people get bored with their age, with life, their time. So many dead spaces inside that they go look for some entertainment, something to fill the space and time. They don't count. They don't have the value anymore. Might as well stay dead. Value your life. It's your life. You were born naked for a very good reason. Honor it. Respect it. It's your life, your moment, your second, your minute, your hour, your week, your month, your year, your decade, your lifetime, yours, for a very good reason. And if you want to play head games, you play head games. The beauty of our ignorance, our hurt, our disappointments, the beauty of our darkness, our anger, our destructiveness, the beauty of our joy, our happiness, our kindness, our laughter, the beauty of our inventiveness, the beauty of our help, both hands. Don't hide one hand. Hold them both out, like both eyes, left brain and right brain. And one day you'll understand your scars. And one day you'll understand why the sun does go away, but comes back. One day you'll understand you can't stay down, you can't be depressed your whole life. One day you'll understand you cannot cry forever. Transcend the paradox. Transcend the paradox of minus and plus, good and bad, evil and divine. Transcend this paradox. It's not this and it's not that. It's not over there, it's not over here, and yet life is. Learn to think as a paradox, learn to see as a paradox, learn to feel as a paradox, learn to contemplate as a paradox, learn to meditate as a paradox, learn to eat as a paradox, learn to sleep as a paradox, and the paradox of laughter will show its face. The paradox of silence will speak loud. The paradox of light will show its darkness, and the paradox of darkness will show its light. The paradox of peace will show its action, and the paradox of action will show its silence. you're as strange as me. The trouble is, I know it. And your trouble is, you don't know it. I mean, but not me, huh? Not me. I mean, my mother, I mean, my friends, I mean, you know. I remember in the very beginning, those early years, you know, I did not wear a tie in the beginning. I thought it would be too much. And it was too much for most people, you know, because I haven't changed my, this is my uniform, you know. And I just didn't wear a tie for almost, 5 years? And, you know, a lot of people complain, you know, it's not Indian enough. It's not spiritual, or it's business, and, you know, and all that stuff. Try to be normal. You remember in the second retreat, Les Ans, in Switzerland, and my father was invited, you know, and my mother passed away and died, and he married someone else. So he brought this other woman, and my father was 82 years old, I think, at that time. And you know, he had no idea what it is that I'm doing at all. Nothing. But he knows something's going on, you know. And I, because I wanted to invite him. It's important to show, you know, before he passes away. So I was respecting the conditions, father-son. And I said, oh my God, you know, especially the fire dance, you know, with the. You know, and so, I mean, seriously, I was sweating, you know, thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to do, you know, and I thought about, so in the fire dance, I'll leave on my my uniform and hide the bones. Because those are human bones, you know, and maybe I will, you know. So he can relate with it, you know. You know, oh yeah. But you're still a bad dancer. You know. Oh yeah. I mean, would you show your parents? Would you? Yeah. You're not sure? Oh, hey, but trust me, you're strange enough. Just give it time. I like that though, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Ha, yeah. Oh, let's take a break. Always got to make sure my tie is straight. That's the important thing. Is my tie straight? No? No, thank you. No. Yeah, oh my, it's not on? Oh my God. Oh, it's hidden. Can you find my microphone?
Where to look? In there or?
It was there.
There in or?
You know, remember those days? Huh? Remember those days? You don't remember those days? Huh? Running around in the trees. You don't remember those times? Huh? Jumping from branch to branch and, you know. You don't remember? Jesus, pitiful. Pitiful. You know, energy is it's so misunderstood. And people grow up thinking about energy is fast cars, energy is the electricity, power is strength or power of mind, energy is spirit. So for some, energy is holy, and for some, energy is just being able to go to work, come home, cook, and go to bed. Just enough energy just for that. It is up to you to really define what energy is and the various placements of energy and what it does. Because most people have abused the word energy, and most people have become very ignorant. They're very ignorant about what energy is and what it's doing. And actually, from a biological point of view, if you understand how a person eats and how your stomach and how your whole system starts to break down the various food particles, and so it produces the sugars, and so it helps the protein to help give us energy for our body so we can last another minute, another hour, another week, another month. So we can go on and on and on and on. And we know that various foods actually give us different kinds of energy. Swiss chocolate does something. Everybody knows. It's hard to describe, and sometimes we can describe it, but it's a silent language that is well understood throughout the world these days with Swiss chocolate. German chocolate also. American chocolate. Okay. No. And then people have found out that if you do certain things, if you get a massage, if you go swimming, if you meditate, or if you contemplate, or you go for a nice walk, or if you have good thoughts, you have good feelings, or you have a good hug, or a good kiss, somehow people think you can start to have good feelings, good energy from all this. And some people have this misperception, give me a hug so I can get some of your energy, some of this. And there does happen to some degree. It does activate it to some degree. But to give somebody energy, what is it that you're giving? Is it a glance in the eye? Is it the feeling on your hand? Are there some waves that you're not seeing, like radioactive waves emanating from your eyes, or from your brain, or from your feet, or from your heart, or from your mind, emanating and penetrating this shield called a skin, and then giving them, let's say, spiritual carbohydrates, spiritual potatoes, spiritual Swiss chocolate, from your good feelings. People have never really paid attention to what is really taking place, what is really transforming, and with all these energies. Well, actually, people, they kind of run around like other people are filling stations to get energy from petrol. Some people treat people like that, like they're filling stations. I get good energy from you. I don't like your petrol. I like your petrol. I don't like to be around you, but I like to be around you. And so people have these conceptions of petrol stations, people to get something. And some people live off this. And there are people that can absorb other people's goodness too. That is true. They have known that nurses that have a darkness about them, that somehow a lot of people die on their shifts. They can die on their shifts. As it is for doctors too. That if they have something a little cynical about them, a little sinister about them, a little twisted about them, somehow people can die, and they have seen this with nurses and doctors. And as it is with a person that is like a child can also do this to a parent if they're sick. And sometimes we can feel, being around someone, how somehow you feel drained with someone, very drained. Especially when you're around someone that is clinically depressed. It's a very obvious feeling from that. But most of us, we you could say, live somewhat typical lives, and we dodge in and out of buildings, and we get to meet people in the street, and we shake lots of hands, and sometimes give lots of kisses, and and we rub shoulders on the street corner and on the sidewalks, and we have a little snack and a little sandwich or some soup and everything, and so there's this big exchange taking place, always tremendous amount of exchange, morning, noon, and night taking place. And then one has to wonder, because so many people, they get down, their energies go down, so to speak. They get tired easily, and they wonder what is wrong here. The most important thing, that if you find yourself with a lot of low energy, and maybe it's not biological, maybe it's psychological. That happens a lot with lots of people. And for other people, it's biological. There's something going on that's not quite working right, or it's breaking down the system to give you energies. You know, there's some blockages going on. So it's up to you to determine whether it is a medical situation or a psychological situation. But for the most part, we can't. Some people can always be sick. And a lot of people don't like to be sick. And for the people that don't like to be sick, and they like to have enough energy to go out and do their life and have a lot more. You know, it's kind of like getting your second wind when you need it. And what is it? You know, what is this second wind? You thought you were tired, you thought you were down, you thought, you know, and all of a sudden the second wind comes up. Well, what you thought was wrong if that happened. You were just dead wrong. But you thought. And this is very much like what you see in the fire dance. You see me also, and you've also have experienced it with yourself, where you can get your second wind. Your second wind. There's something to this. And this is what I'm relating to here. That's what this is all for. You have to be very careful about your own philosophy, about your own thinking about yourself. Because you're coming from your perspective. You're coming from your hurt. You're coming from your picture, the way you have drawn, painted your perception of yourself and your energies. Know what you know and know it well, and know what you don't know and know it very well. So let's think about this. Have you noticed that young ones and certain people in their middle age, in their 50s and their 70s and 80s, certain people, they can just go and go and go and go. And they can just go and go and go and go. You know, what's your secret? Is it a shot of tequila every day? Huh? What is it? Is it saying the mantra? Huh? What is it? Is it just having attitude, good attitude? What is it? What is all this? And where does all this come from? Because you could say so much of it is your philosophy. So much of it is determined by your philosophy of yourself and of this world, of your own body and your own mind and of your heart. The psychological mind can easily start to twist. And I see this all the time. You know, you can see it with people who they see themselves as everyone else should work but them. And everyone should do the things for me, but I shouldn't do it for myself. And you could see that they can easily twist things around so they're not there. They don't have to do it. Or they're tired. Or this came up. Or that came up. Or, the rational mind has kicked in. And because we can be very clever with this rational mind, we can rationalize ourselves like, oh, God, I'm so tired now. You know, like, oh, you know, I can't do this anymore. Oh, I don't feel like, you know, there's something telling me not to. My intuition is telling me I can't do this. I'll do it later. Or I don't have the energy to do it. And this rational mind is profound. And we can talk ourselves into anything. And it's very much like work. It was here's something to really think about. The American attitude of work is so different than the European attitude of work. It is so different. It's shocking. It's so shocking. This is where the American attitude is better than the Europeans. Much, much better. That when we're all very young there in America, we have a much healthier perspective and attitude about work. We're not laden down with a lot of history. Superiors, or you're taking advantage of me, or you're trying to tell me what to do, or. And with Americans, hey, and especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur, especially when it comes to having your own business and having the encouragement to get out there and work 16, 17 hours a day. Hey, because it's a good dream. It's a good hope. It's okay that you put in these extra hours, that you work extra. It's all right. And whereas the European, it's laden down with a lot of history, and actually, you think it's your attitude. It's not. It's your parents' attitude. It's their neighbor's attitude. It's their parents' attitude. It's their parents' attitude. It's their parents' attitude. All you're doing is doing the repetition. You're just repeating. You think it's yours, and it's not. Look at America. It's very different when it comes to work. It's, hey, let's go do it. Hey, let's go do it. Hey, it's all right. And Americans can do it much, much lighter with it. Totally different world. And it's just a matter of upbringing, boundaries, countries. As you know, you can go anywhere in the world, and the attitudes, how different they are about everything in life. And this, if you look at it as a whole, it speaks an awful lot about how we deal with our time and the energy and how we walk with it, treat it, and look at it. When we go to sleep, when we lie down, there's a very good reason why we go to sleep and lie down. For 6 hours to 8 hours to 9 hours. Very good reason. And what is that? And that is to recuperate, recharge your batteries, recharge it. Some people, they stay tired. Some people, after 3 or 4 hours, it could be hypoglycemia, it could be diabetes. If you got these illnesses, okay, you got it. But still, there's still attitude involved, regardless. And by how people think, how they look at the world with their eyes, how their thoughts are being manufactured, in what way, what's the edge in the word? Is it clear? Is it criticism? Is there hope in it? Is there nothing but like putting blind bluffs on? Very narrow perspective, very narrow attitude. All these are energy leaks. Energy. Energy. I should even have a lot more, actually. It's kind of like the blood vessels, the nervous system in our body. Energy is running through them. You know that? Energies running through them, feeding all the various, I forgot how many, 100 billion cells in our body, something like that. 100 billion cells. And each cell is responsible for itself. Did you know that? Each cell in our body is responsible for itself. Each cell in our body has a unique philosophy. It is responsible for itself. It's kind of like an individual thinker. It's kind of like a little boy and a little girl, and the parents had taught it well. Think for yourself. Stand on your own. And each cell actually does this, actually. Interesting, huh? And you have 100 billion of these individual cells standing on their own 2 feet. But they're fed. They're fed by various energies. Swiss chocolate. Kisses, sweet kisses. And when I came to Europe and I saw how a lot of people are kissing, you're not kissing at all. You're just going through the motions, or you make a noise on the side of the cheek, like, yeah, I'm kissing you, but I'm not going to kiss you because I don't like kissing you because I don't like you, but I'm going to go through the motions because there's no energy in that. So, what happens with that? Energy leak. Yeah? That's an energy leak. One false kiss, energy leak. Okay? Little water comes out. Okay? Okay? I lost a little energy. You saw that, okay? I lost a little energy there. Okay. All of a sudden, oh no, here comes my auntie, and my auntie loves these. Energy leak. Little, it's gone. It's gone because I gave the false kiss. Little twist there. It's not genuine. I'm following procedure. I'm following the culture, the customs. But it's an energy leak, people. One little minute detail makes a big difference. But if you don't understand each cell counts. Trust me, each drop counts. Each drop of your energy counts. And there's all of a sudden, there's someone over there, God, I hate that person. I'll show you. And then, oh God. Oh, my self-pity. No, not that one, this one. Jesus, my self-pity, I just... Oh, nothing works. No. Oh, waiter. This is not good. What did you call me? This is a good one. God, you pissed me off. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Teacher? I'm low in energy. What? What? Leaks? What leaks? I'm leaking where? What? What tail? strong. Me strong. Me Tarzan, you Jane. Good banana. Until Tarzan and Jane have their first fight. I swear, I didn't. I really didn't. But I did. I wonder when one is jealous or bitter, what that looks like. The little simple things that we all kind of play with, little drops here and there, little things. But when one starts to get bitter, it's like this. A whole vein. And it's kind of like your hand doing it, just reaching out and says, watch what I'm going to do. That's what bitterment does. This is what jealousy will do. Watch me just drain my blood. Watch me just drain my energy. Watch. And then, after the bitterment goes away, you feel better about yourself, about the situation. You go home. You sit down. Move your tail. God, why am I so exhausted? So exhausted. I was full. I felt so good before. Some places of my feelings and thoughts, it's okay, it's holding up. What happened there? What happened there? Why these gaps? Yeah, I'm good. I am really good. Really, really fine. I'm doing well. Who stole that from me? Who took it from me? Who took that? I'm no good. I'm worthless. I don't deserve. Every thought counts. Every cell, 100 billion cells, they think for themselves. They are independent. They're independently dependent. And if they can do that, you can do that as a whole person. Don't waste your time draining yourself. Yeah, there's food out there you can still buy in the grocery stores. Yeah. But people, don't get confused. There is food for the body and food for your heart. It's different food. And this is the food that people drain. Good food for your mind. Don't drain it. Your time is valuable throughout the day. Try not to fight. If you need to fight, you fight well. If you need to argue, you argue well. If you need to scream, you scream well. If you need to get your point across, you get your point across, but you do it well. But always hold the respect, because once you lose that respect, you start pulling. And you do it because you know you're going to drain yourself. The one that goes on the cross. How people put themselves on the cross so easily. And people say, watch me do this to myself. See what I'm going to do. You made me do this. You are making me do this. You are doing this. Whose hand pulled the plug? Whose hand drained me? Mirror, mirror on the wall, please don't lie to me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, please don't put a veil in front of my eyes to blind me. Who? And I hope you have the courage to see it. How long does it take to refuel me? Who can I run to now? Whose petrol can I drain to refill me? Who can I use? Who can I suck out of? Who? Who? You pay attention to your hands. It is you that picked up that spoon and fed yourself. It was you. It was you who picked up that shoe and put your foot in. It was you who looked into that direction. It was you. Energy drains. They're everywhere. Everywhere, people. And there's each one, huh? It's for our feelings. These are really of our feelings, huh? And our feelings determine the manufacture and how the thoughts are going to be manufactured in time. How we look at people, how we look at ourselves, how we look at this world. Huh? And some people walk with so many colors drained. And this is what personality is. That's what's the beauty of each of us. We're all so different, and that's what's so beautiful. Different colors, different designs. It's beautiful. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself a break. Give people a break. Let them make mistakes, it's okay. Let yourself make mistakes, it's okay. But when you get hard on yourself, you know what to do. Start pulling the plug. And everybody's an expert. Everybody. And you know pretty much where that one is. And you know pretty well where that one is and what it's for. And you even know pretty well what this one's for. ¿Comprende? I like that. You know, it's a funny thing. When you start to see these things, you can see because we all have our walk, our own unique way. And because we've been doing it for so many years, somehow for some, it's the green, that whatever that green is to your personality, to how you are is. Some people, that's what drains. And it could be associated with health. Green, nature, green is nutritious, nutrition, recuperate, energy of the earth. And for some, they drain red. And it's because maybe the anger and fire, and they drain it with their rages and being pissed off all the time and irritated at people all the time. And maybe it's the red that drains. And for some, it's the yellow, hope, a lack of hope. And they see no hope, they just see doing. And the yellow, which is the sunshine, and, the light, and it just goes away. And for some, it's the orange, the vitality, just the vitality that we get from a beautiful architect of a building, a beautiful book, a beautiful sight. Maybe it's that drains. For some, there's nothing but criticism, 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 comments and criticisms, comments and criticism, 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 and maybe it is the blue-green that disappears. So now you know what this is for. And I am proud to wear it. Because this is really what it's like. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off that this is what it is. And I challenged whoever showed me this. And I challenged, you could say, life. I challenged the existence of it. And I said, screw you. Screw you. I'm going to do it anyway. I wanted to test it and see. Screw you. How with you? I don't need it. You know? Where is that? Where's that green anyway? That nutritious crap. Where is that green? I just show you I can live without it. I can do without that. Shit, I'm smarter than that. Hell with that. You know, I just know. Don't give me that crap. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Go ahead, just drain. I can still stand. I can still work. I can still think. Yeah. There you go. I can stand up still straight. I can stand on my own. I don't need that green stuff. I'm just sitting down. I found out the hard way. My arrogance and my inappropriate pride was pretty big. And I can't stand on my own. I really need on my toes. I need nutrition. I need the sun. I need the moon. I need good air. I need good food. I need good friends. I need good thoughts. I need some love, even just a little bit. I need good friendship. I need good fruit. I need good water. I need a good walk. I need a good movie. I need a good laugh. I need a good doctor. I need everything in this world at certain times. Nice to know that the baker's over there. Nice to know that the people can pick up my trash in the mornings. I don't even see them. They pick up my trash. I need the plumbers. I need the electricians. I need the trees. I need the mountains. I need the clouds. I need the rain. I cannot live here without all these. I really can't. I'm not as strong as I thought. need all my tubes filled. I need to be smarter. I need to be wiser. I need to learn to be more kinder, more gentle. I need to be more firm. I need them all filled with all the colors of the rainbow. Plug up my leaks. Plug up my leaks. Of inappropriate perspectives. Plug them up. Tomorrow at 10. Am I on? You know, I feel naked without my tubes. because of the new people here. I wish I had a couple hours of film, yeah, and some books for you to read before you come to the workshops. It would help a lot for the new, and it's always to help understand what's going on a little bit better. Because anybody that is new and coming in, no matter what it is, no matter what the title of the workshop or the seminar or the home that you're going to or the new friend or the first date or the first magazine that is coming out, if you pay attention to just how the typical mind is, the mind has a most wonderful way of making comments and giving its own ideas how it is, how it thinks it is, why these people do the things they do, and this is why they did that, and this is why they said that, and oh, I know what they're doing here, and this and that. Oh, it's because of this, and it's because of that. And the mind easily makes comments immediately, back and forth. For instance, it was in the last seminar, and usually I stand on the ground. I don't stand on a stage. And when I'm standing on the ground, usually there's like a semicircle. And then for 2 days in a row, I told people to come closer to me, so they're as close to me here, but I'm on the ground. And then at the end of the workshop, this elderly person, very highly educated, comes to me and says, I could see that in order for you to speak, you need people very close to you. You need people really close to you. How come you need that? I says, I don't need that at all. I says, the only reason I have people come closer to me is because it is because of the people in the back. When there are so many people, and especially if I'm not high, like on a stage, it's hard to see their faces back there. And then with distance, it becomes less personal. It is kind of like, have you ever watched a movie on a very small television, and it's something like 5-6 meters away from you, and you want to watch this beautiful movie, your favorite movie, and there it is 5 meters back. And here's this little television, and it's your favorite movie. Is that how you like to watch your movies? Well, that's how I like to watch my movies that I don't care to see. But the movies I love to bring the TV a lot closer to me so I can get the feeling more out of it. And that's why I like to bring the people close to me who are in the back, so because there's a predicament going on. There's only so many seats, and only so many people can sit up close, and I can only see far, and some people have, most of us have problems with our eyes and vision. And so I can see the people in the back. The people in the front are fine. And actually, they're crowding my space, the people in the front. They're in my face. But it's the people in the back that counts for me. So see, I don't need people close to me. The comments. It is the typical and the natural comments that human beings naturally make because you're new. And so I ask that because you are new, comment, 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 comment. You know, there are so many beautiful and wonderful teachers, and there are so many terrible teachers in this world, both. But I have found that most human beings, no matter how educated you are or how ignorant you are, because both make comments just as much, both groups of people miss most of the opportunities in this world to acquire new thought, new thinking, new learnings. Most people miss tremendous opportunities because it is their own comments that shuts the door. Shuts the door. Their comments. Friendship. Friendship, and to find and to come across good friends is one of the hardest things to do for most people in this world. A good friends. Good friends. Some people naturally have you can say almost the DNA, have the chemical makeup. They have the personality. They have the ways and the means to easily make friends. And most people do not. And those who do not, it is a great secret. It is a great hidden secret. How in the world do you do it? And for those that works quite easily, there's no secret at all. So in essence, life, very much like the shadows of a tree, very much like the shadows of a sun descending down over the horizon and casting a shadow across the land very quickly. And pretty soon this shadow goes into almost a pure blackness. And pretty soon the comment, the attitude, you can no longer really see the land for what it is. Because you see, when the sun goes down, is very much like your eyelid closing, blinking, your eye blinking. And somehow you missed the point. Somehow you shut the door, somehow you close the door just at that moment, and you missed the gesture. Somehow when you blinked, somehow when you shut your ear, boom, like that, you missed the word. And somehow kept those ears open, somehow did not blink. And you caught a word, but because the previous word is missing, the whole thing is distorted. In essence, to be a good listener, to be an excellent listener, most people don't know how to listen. To be a good witness, most people do not know how to be a good witness. For it is the comments that it usually is the witness. It is the comments that is usually the listener for most people. And when a human being goes on an adventure, and that's the beauty of science, and the structure that science has laid itself out from stage 1 all the way into stage 462. Because somehow the people beforehand has understood. If you want to be a good biologist, a good archaeologist, you're going to have to be a very good listener. You're going to have to learn to be a wonderful witness and not put your drama in as you are tearing down the earth to see why the people did what they did. Don't bring your grandma into it. Don't bring your auntie. And when you go study the gorillas out into the jungle, don't bring the fight with your husband or your wife into it. And don't make comments why they hit the ground or why they hit the child. Be a good archaeologist. Be a good anthropologist. Be a good biologist. Be a good astronomer. Be a good citizen. Learn to be a good father. Learn to be a good mother. Learn to be a good employer. Learn to be a good employee. Learn to be a good policeman. Learn to be a good soldier. Learn to be a good cook. Learn to be a good teacher. But in order to do all this, you have to learn to listen and to be a good witness long enough that your hurt and disappointment does not close the door with a blink, does not shut the door with your ears. And it takes years to acquire this. Years to acquire this. So your feelings don't come in and mingle with the data, come in and distort the data. And as it is for new people, as all of you were new people before, it takes years to understand what the fire dance is. You're ignorant, very ignorant and foolish if you put comments and try to understand the fire dance in one fire dance or two fire dances or even 5 fire dances or 10 fire dances. You're foolish. For as a citizen of Germany, as a citizen of Berlin, you have been raised like every other child in the Western world to be entertained. No matter where you go, to be entertained. For most people don't know how to live. From day to day, under the city lights, in flats and in homes. And yes, we get by, and yes, we survive. And yet it's living in the streets where the ceiling is your sky, where the cold and the heat are extreme. Or it's living with a ceiling that is only 5 meters high, and plenty of heat and plenty of fuel in your car, plenty of food in your refrigerator, and plenty of money in your banks. Any species can live, but to be alive is difficult. To be truly alive is difficult. To be present in body, mind, and in spirit is difficult. Human beings, they have an opportunity of living 3 completely different lives in one given lifetime. The first lifetime in this dimension is when one is conceived. And once the conception has taken place, and on that fateful night, when that young man and young woman, they got together and they made love, and when they conceived you, you were either conceived in love, in real love, or you were conceived in lust. One or the other. And that set off a whole chain of events that brought you into this dimension, to this planet, to this round ball from the sun. And for the next 9 months, for that little infant, somewhere along the line within that 9 months becomes actually conscious of itself becomes aware of itself, entombed, embodied already in a world that is so fantastic. The light is different, encased, protected, fed. But those 9 months are actually 90 years. 90 years to that little one. And you all can remember what it was like to be so young. And every year took so very long. Could hardly wait to be 5. And how it took a long time from one birthday candle to the next. And that little one spending 90 years there's no need for a friend. For one is very content to be with oneself. For to be alone is understood. To be of self is understood. And yet the little one also goes to sleep and dreams. For all there is just self. And the only playmate is a conscience. But the conscience is really the friend that all creatures are born with. A conscience that always speaks, that always educates, and always tells you, that is your advisor. And then, yet after 90 years has gone by, that little one is forced out of that world into another womb, another environment, another bubble. And it just yet that the bubble is going to be a much bigger bubble. The womb is going to be much, much bigger. For you see, life is a series of evolvement from womb to womb, from environment to environment, from womb to womb. And hopefully another 90 years will take place. This time, counting the tick-ticks, the minutes and the seconds and the hours and the days. For somehow time is a lot more defined and marked by pencils and pens, marked by stone, marked by experiences, marked by placements of the sun in the sky. It is marked by footprints. It is marked by the amount of books read. It is marked by the full moons and the lack of it. Now that you sitting in this chair, this is your second lifetime in one given lifetime. And yet you still reside in a womb. Do not forget this. Don't think this is the end of the trip. Don't think this is the end of the road. This is your second lifetime. And all you have to do is wipe away the city thoughts, the city lights that have blinded so many people. And go acquire photographs that the astronauts, that the real astronauts have made of this planet from above. And pay attention and realize it is a womb, a very unique womb, just like the womb of your mother that you reside in for the first 9 months, which are really 90 years. And when you realize that this planet is all but a one unique womb, and you're in it, you must ask yourself, I wonder what the next womb will be like. For if I have been expanding from like the womb of my mother into the womb of a planet, I wonder what the expansion will be next time and how far it will reach. This is what the mystics have talked about. This is what a poem can recite. This is what certain songs can sing. This is what a certain experience or a certain glance can express. The possibility, the knowingness, to be able to walk into your third lifetime in one given lifetime. Your third life. And that is the awakening of one's heart and one's mind. And you could say it is a choice. For all human beings, they are born with a free will. You can do anything you want with your life. You don't have to obey the laws if you don't want to. You don't have to stop at the stop sign if you don't want to. You don't have to get off from this chair if you don't want to. You don't even have to brush your teeth in the morning if you don't want to. You can call your boss and tell your boss, I do not wish to work today, if you don't want to. But you'll be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Your free will. What do you want to do with your life? You see, human beings, from the time they have found themselves with some awareness in their second lifetime, and they become self-conscious, personally self-conscious of their bodies. Sometimes it happens at the age of 2, sometimes 4, and for some of us, the age of 7. That one becomes so busy finding out what the second womb is all about, learning of the second womb, for the colors are different. For there was no sun in the first lifetime in the womb of your mother. The sun was in your heart. The sun was your mother's heart. The sun was your mother's feelings. But those feelings and that sun has been replaced by a ball of fire still in the womb, actually, but a much bigger womb. A womb we call a universe. So then you found yourself in a womb, in a womb, in a womb. But pay attention to how busy, how everybody has kept themselves. From store to store, many choices to choose from telephones to stocks. Look in the newspaper and the wanted ads. Many places to work if you wish. Many different kinds of fruit. Many styles of dress. Different kinds of books and magazines. So many things to see and so many varieties of colors. Not just on the faces and skins of human beings, but the art supplies. And every now and then, if you find yourself fortunate, a rainbow in the sky. And yet, whether you were conceived in lust or love, the fact is you are in your second lifetime. And those that were conceived in love, you are more fortunate. For the medicine is much better than to be conceived in lust. But most human beings are conceived in lust in this world. It has caused lots of problems and lots of heartache, and has created more confusion. You can get plastic surgery and change the shape of your nose. Even tuck in your chin a little bit if you wish. But you are who you are. And whether you are an alcoholic or a CEO and running a beautiful company and doing well, or whether you live on the streets and the roof is your sky, or you have a family of 3 or 4 kids and they're all wonderful. The beauty of a human being, and because of the act of a free will, they can change. They can literally change. From being destructive to being constructive. From being wrong to being right. From being a bad worker to being a good worker. From being mean to being kind. From being selfish to being helpful. From being angry to be forgiven. And yet these very elemental, very simple words, everybody knows very well, very familiar to your minds. But the problem is they have not become alive. They're just words. To awaken the third lifetime in one given lifetime for a human being is a great sacrifice that the person has to do. And that is to inject hope. And that is to be a searcher of goodness. And that is to make what it is, the words that have been taught to you by your elementary school teachers and your parents, that these words are really very much alive. and not just black ink or blue ink on paper. Because you see, most people, once they finish school and they get your diploma, you stop. Most people stop going to school. They don't have to learn anymore. And because we have this free will, we can stop at a stoplight. Life is alive. Like a whole business can be alive. For it is business that is like a beautiful thread, and with a very sharp and new needle. That the weaver of businessmen and businesswomen with good intentions, and not just to make money and profit, but with good intentions, that has woven families, communities, villages, cities, that has woven ideas, old ideas and new ideas into a new pattern, that has given societies, many societies, new faces, new ideas, a whole new planet actually. And the weavers, for the hand is the imagination, the hand is the courage, and the hand can be considered even profit or to pay one's bills. And once a second lifetime has reached a certain age, the Friday nights are not so important. Somehow, this being settled in oneself starts to take place. Not so disturbed and angry at people or yourself. You can find a little time and a little space, some time to contemplate the possibilities of walking into your third lifetime in one given life. But the sacrifice, like the first lifetime, you have to let go all that you had in the first given lifetime. You got to let it all go. All your philosophies, all your ideas, all your paintings, that's a sacrifice. But you see, be wise with your life. You have to do this anyway when you pass away. You have no choice. Whether you are German or French, Russian, whether you are American Indian, whether you're Tibetan, you have to let it all go anyway. What prevents people from contemplating this third lifetime? It's really what takes place in newspapers, behind closed doors, of violence, abuse, being torn about emotionally, being robbed, being hurt and disappointed. People get so used to it, it becomes normal. And the weaver, which is your life, you start to weave all the hurt and disappointment, making the patterns day to day, year to year of your own life, but how people weave hurt and disappointment into their pattern. How can there really be any real hope? A bright, clear light. How can there ever be any hope or any possibility of walking into your third lifetime with goodness, with kindness, and with understanding? Society cannot pass away for you. You have to pass away on your own. Trust me with this one. It is a reality. And if that is so, you have to leave what is German, what is Germany, what is Deutsch behind. Then what do you take with you? What? Life is not suffering. Life is inherently goodness. But to have the courage to see all that is wrong in this world, not with hate, not with ignorance, but with a good mind and a good heart. You see, on this planet, things, they cannot be perfect. They never will be. It's impossible. It is the nature of this dimension. It is the nature of biology. It is the nature of nature itself, of decay and growth. A tree in full bloom, a tree attacked by a virus. We come here not to be perfect. We come here to walk on a land. We come here to climb mountains. We come here to invent. We come here to have children. We come here to cry and to laugh. We come here to get lost. We come here to work. We come here to trip and fall. We come here to get disappointed. We come here to get fired and to be loved. We come here to be hungered We come here to be a farmer. We come here to be ignorant. We come here to harm. We come here to help. And then once the mind is straight, no longer confused about what this planet is all about, like you easily let the birds fly south when winter comes, you do not question it. It is the nature of things. And when your friend disappoints you, you do not question it. It is really the nature of things. And yet there's an intelligence inside, a logic and reason and a common sense that somehow we all seem to get better, and sometimes worse. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Be wiser with your life and your time. Do not expect people to understand you. Do not be foolish. But you learn to understand everybody else. Be wise with your life. Do not expect people to help you, but you help other people. Be wise with your life. Do not expect people to listen to you at all. Don't be foolish. But you learn to listen to others. Do not expect people to be kind to you. Don't be ignorant. But you be wise and you learn to be kind to others. And in time, this medicine that has always been there, but yet not understood, this unique medicine will very slowly start to knock on the doors of the proteins that really control your DNA. Will start to create better fuel, cleaner fuel inside your brain. So the neurons are firing better and differently, like spark plugs in a car. And in time, this engine of ours, and in time, this computer of ours inside our bodies somehow is working better, magically. Very simple. Very simple. Societies are different. And during the day, I see people walking here on this little park. You can see that there is respect for others in the streets, except for those that want to rob others. And you've gotten used to this respect, and you expect it. And it's so wonderful, especially if you have children, that you can let your children play in the streets. Walk 2 or 3 blocks to a park. It's wonderful. And you support it. I know you do. You really do support this. I know you do. Good. Good for you. But what about your nights? Even though you are covered up by blankets and covers, even though most of your body is covered, only to be seen maybe by your children or your lovers, just a small part, a small area of your face. But it is you that has to go into your dreams. For the day is very much like the night, and the night is really very much like the day. If there is violence and great confusion very quietly inside your head during the day, you carry it into the night. For the night should be as peaceful as it is during the day. It should be as sane as it is as going for a walk. For when the mind is at peace, the mind is as sane as it is here. No chaos, no confusion. Very sane, very ordinary, very peaceful. This third opportunity, this third lifetime in one given lifetime, it is no one else's business but your own. It is a very personal adventure. It is not something you share. Don't be foolish. And you hold this and you speak to your own heart. That you bring your whole life forward. To the point that you're okay, totally okay with your whole life. Speak to yourself. When there's somebody around, just be quiet though. But speak to yourself. Really, no one can really know you but you and what is above. Be okay with yourself. This is a good world. Be better citizens. Be more respectful of your German mark. Be better workers. Be better employees. Be better citizens. And take more pride in your flag. You don't have to like people, but respect everybody. No matter what they've done. And then when you have done something bad, you may not like yourself, but you won't lose respect for yourself. For that's the real killer and creates neuroses. And the shadows will start to grow quickly once respect is gone. In essence, please, please, do not seek to be spiritual. Please don't be foolish. There's a great investment in that one faithful night when that young man and young woman got together and conceived you. And there's a very good reason why you're on the third planet from the sun. And you have found yourself in the second lifetime in one given life. There's a very good reason why you are human. Learn to be a good human being first. And when you pass away, you can be spiritual all you want. But when a human being knows what it is to be a human being today, you will have a much better chance of knowing who you are tomorrow. But if you're so disappointed with humanity and so confused, and you want to be spiritual, and you're on the search, you will not know who you are today, and you will have a much better chance not knowing who you're going to be tomorrow. Learn to be a good human being first. You are who you are for a very good reason. Leave the spirit for the spirit. Leave the angels for the angels. If you're human, learn to be what it is to be human. No more hide and seek, no more games, no more play acting. That's the most valuable thing you can be. For when the third lifetime is awakened, then you are truly a human being and nothing more. Just another brother, just another sister to another human being and nothing more. You see, that's all human beings can ever really be with each other, just brothers and sisters. There's no hierarchy. There's no greater and there's no lesser. We are just younger and older. That is all. Separated by birthday candles. Nikiti ha ha ha. Nikiti ha ha ha. Niti shi. Peace to your minds. Peace to your hearts. Peace to your life. Open up your eyes. We're going to go into the fire dance now. And for the new people, this is not entertainment. This is not entertainment. I do not entertain people at all. Don't waste my time. Do not waste your money. If you're coming here for entertainment, you get your money back and you have to leave. Westerners are so used to being entertained. That's all there is entertainment. This fire dance is not to entertain. It is to help. It is to help. And please try and keep your minds quiet. And you let me do my job, and you do your job. And your job is just to dance, or to sit there and to watch and be a good witness, and do not close your eyes. There's no trancing out in this dance. Trancing out is not healthy for the mind. You hold your attention like you're going down a German Autobahn 300 kilometers an hour. That's how you hold your attention here. Keep those eyes open. Be a good witness. Let the dance teach you. And let the fire dancer do his job. You will see what to do by watching others. It's a very simple thing. You cannot do anything wrong. There's no voodoo, there's no magic going on here. It is just a very serious dance. Do not look around the room. Do not waste your money. You did not pay to look at everybody else. If you did, that's different. And you keep your eyes on the fire dancer and watch before the fire dance never comes back to your life. This is a ceremony brought into your concrete city. So pay attention to the preparation and watch the preparation. You can socialize all you want once you leave this place. But you pay attention to the preparation because it's in the preparation that makes it work. Like the preparation for a new business, the preparation for that first date. Didn't you all prepare for that first date? The one that you want, that you really are attracted to and want to take out. Didn't you all prepare? Yes, you did. You cared. And those of you who didn't and don't know what I'm talking about, you're in trouble. You prepare as it is for this dance. So it's in the preparation. It's in the preparation. Let's dance.